Run! Go! Get to the Jibber Jabber!
Hey Valerie! It's on Apple Podcasts and Podomatic! Freaking awesome!
Alright, Jibber Jabbers, welcome to this special episode of the Jibber Jabber podcast, where we delve back to 2018 to listen to an episode of the Jibber Jabber podcast that was on YouTube, where we interviewed Clive Russell. Usually I'm joined by J-Mac, but today I shan't be, as he's not here, because this isn't a Jibber Jabber podcast episode, or at least in its entire form. This episode is just a little thank you and a little bonus for all you guys that keep listening and getting in touch with us online and doing as much as you can to be part of the Jibber Jabber community. Last year, 2018, Jordan and I covered our very first Comic-Con, and that was part of Showmasters events, which was Glasgow Film and Comic-Con, where we had the opportunity to speak to some really good actors and actresses, some that we really enjoyed. But that's not what this is about. This is the episode where you guys get to listen to the interview that we had with Clive Russell. He is known in Scotland for various projects that he's worked on, Game of Thrones being one of them. But he's mainly known here for being Big Ennis. Now that Still Game is on tonight, it returns for the final season, Season 9. I just thought it'd be a really good idea to release it as an audio podcast. You can, however, check it out on the Jibber Jabber YouTube page, where you can see a video of J-Mac and myself interviewing Clive Russell himself. The guy was an absolute pleasure. It was an absolute pleasure to meet him. He was such a good, down-to-earth guy. None of this pish. Yes, I'm a fantastic actor, so I have to be a ball bag. None of that. So you, as you'll see from this episode and from this interview that you're about to hear, the guy's down to earth. We got on with him so well, and we'd actually love to have him back on this Jibber Jabber podcast. That would be exciting. But as of yet, this is what we have for you, and within this, Clive Russell talks a little bit about his time in Game of Thrones as the Blackfish, and he also talks about the final Still Game season, which I'm not sure if he threw as a curveball or whatnot, but I don't think he's going to be in based on what he says in this interview. But you never know. Let's keep our eyes out. So here's to Still Game. Thanks for everything you guys have given us, Greg and Ford and the gang. And all the best. And here is our episode with our interview with Mr. Clive Russell. Up next. Welcome back. We're here with the great Clive Russell. And how are you finding Comic-Con today, Clive Russell?
Very, very relaxed. It's very nice to be in a place where you're sitting near the light and you can see the river, and it's bright and open and airy. Normally Comic-Cons take place in rooms without natural light and millions of people mobbing around you. But this is quite delicate. Civilised, yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to talk to you a bit about Still Game coming to its end. You obviously played a fantastic part in Still Game as Big Ennis, came to sort the town rats out. Do you think Big Ennis might make an appearance in the last episode?
I very much hope so, but I think I would know by now.
Yeah.
I think they've already started the last series, or they're about to.
I saw the...
Which is sad, because it's been an iconic piece of Scottish work.
Absolutely.
Of some brilliance, I'd have to say.
Yeah, I mean, the originality of it was just phenomenal. I mean, to take just a few characters from a sketch show and to be able to come up with, it was a 9 series now?
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah, well been.
Of consistently funny stuff is...
The thing I like about it, speaking as an older person, is that it's not like they're ripping the piss out of old people. No. They're on their side.
They're Still Game.
They're real. You recognise the people.
Yeah, absolutely. Jack reminds me of my dad. Used to remind me of my granddad, but my dad's kind of got to that.
And there's some brilliant stuff where, when they were sitting in the caravan, they were talking about which continents have you had sex on, or something like that, a real guy's conversation. And Jack goes into this thing with a woman he was clearly in love with, and suddenly it's broken with a gag.
Yeah.
It's just brilliant. You're almost on the point you're in a Wednesday play.
That's right,
Suddenly
absolutely.
it goes the other way. It's wonderful.
Totally caught off guard.
Absolutely
Absolutely
fantastic.
brilliant. So, yeah, the Big Ennis episode. Do you take it that's? Do people shout that to you in the street and stuff?
Well, it would be fair to say when I was in London, people would occasionally stop me in the street. It's London after all, and it might be somebody who saw me in a marvellous play at the Royal Court, or oh, I liked you in this, or I liked you in that. Up here, it's Big Ennis.
That's
Big Ennis! Country!
That's fantastic.
It's like, that's it.
Big Ennis. So I take it Big Ennis got his drink in Maduri.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
We saw that.
Which, by the way, maybe I shouldn't say this, is a disgusting drink.
Oh,
The next question was going to be, do you like Maduri?
No, I don't at all.
Do you know?
There was I live in a small village in Fife, and when I first went down there was a painter and decorator I knew, and he would always buy me a Maduri on a Friday night, and I had to pretend I was drinking it with great pleasure, because it was a kind of honour, I think it was anyway, and it was pretty disgusting.
You know, I actually tried Maduri because of that episode,
And
I liked it.
Studi Maduri. I like Studi Maduri.
The Studi Maduri.
You being serious?
Genuine, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Wee bit of Maduri
Don't
and
be
lemonade.
defensive.
Kevin's got terrible taste in everything.
Clearly.
I love Still Game. I love Big Ennis.
But not Madeira, surely.
Ah, well, Big Ennis was better.
And then there's Game of Thrones, obviously.
Game of Thrones, yeah.
The Blackfish.
How was that to work on?
Well, I think the truth of it is there are two Game of Thrones. There's the Game of Thrones when you're working on it, which was working with largely British character actors I was familiar with, or indeed had worked with a largely Irish, Scottish crew, a lot of whom I'd worked with. So you're kind of doing your work like normal. It's obviously better financed.
Yeah.
You're working in an environment where there are three huge movie crews working simultaneously around Europe to make it.
Yeah.
But actually you're on set working with good guys. That's not that unusual. Get out in the real world and something called Game of Thrones hits you in the jaw.
Yeah.
You're part of something really
Yeah.
quite extraordinary.
Action figures.
I was
trading
a
cards.
latecomer to Game of Thrones. I only started watching it last year.
Wow.
Last year, and I don't know how I managed to avoid all the spoilers, but I did. The Red Wedding made me cry like a wee girl, and yeah, it's a phenomenon, an absolute phenomenon. I can't
The
believe it
weird
took
thing
so
is, I'll be in a pub and clearly somebody's said, "You're that guy from Game of Thrones," and I say, "Yeah." And you shake hands, you talk about it. He disappears, and all his pals come over and say, "You're in Game of Thrones." I say, "Yeah." Do you like it? Never seen it. But the fact that
Right.
that's the power of the thing.
Yes.
It's like he's in. I don't know what the equivalent is. There isn't a television equivalent. It's like being in a movie. Or
Star Wars, maybe.
Star
huh?
Wars, yes.
Star Wars.
Doctor Who, maybe.
Yeah, it's something that's going to be timeless.
Yeah.
People will still be watching it in 10, 20 years and
they will.
introducing it to
I
their
think
kids.
that's absolutely right.
It's powerful, and I was going to ask, what, other than the scenes you've been in, what was one of your favourite parts that really stood out to you in Game of Thrones?
Nearly dropped my water there. There are so many, and it's very clever the way like the Red Wedding, like Sean Bean getting his head cut off. The one from Series 7 that struck me as being a chilling, seminal moment when we realised that the guys from the north had a dragon's egg, and it became a dragon.
Yeah.
So in other words, it's not just the good guys who have a nuclear bomb, the really bad guys.
Yeah.
And that was a masterful storytelling, really.
Yeah, it just keeps you hooked from start to finish. So, yeah, it must have been great to be a part of that.
It was.
What do you think of the fan theories? Do you read a lot of the fan theories about maybe the Blackfish character?
You can't not be aware of it because
Yeah.
anybody comes up to you and they want to know if I know what the end of the thing is, which I obviously don't, and if I did, I wouldn't tell anybody. But it is interesting, and the truth of it is, when you sit in front of a group of people like we just did, answering questions, 40% of that audience know 100 times more than we do about the characters, the books, whatever. They have a passion for it.
Absolutely.
For us, it's work.
Yeah.
You're working, you do your work, you go and do something else, you do something else. It's a completely different thing. And that's weird.
Would you have another career that you would like to do apart from this? Like if you could go back and do something else, do you have something in mind?
I'd like to be a touring golf professional.
Oh, fantastic.
Not good.
What am I going to say?
Of course you are.
Yeah.
If you're a
golfer,
good,
by the way.
if you're a good a golfer as you as an actor, you'll have no problem.
Oh, it's sweetly said.
Absolutely.
No, that's great. Thanks very much for giving us the time.
Not at all.
And,
Absolutely. It's been an absolute
enjoying yourself,
pleasure.
so we. And
Good luck, guys.
Thank you very much.
And,
It's been an
we'll
absolute
maybe see you
pleasure.
next one.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy.